But I wanted to talk about Warren Sapp and Damian Lewis. I think Colorado last year got dominated, in the trenches, specifically in that 3 technique position. They've, brought in Coach Sapp, and, they have Damian Lewis there as well. I'll go ahead and show a little clip of them kind of working with the D-line, and then I kind of want to get your take just on their impact of the D-line and how you think they maybe improve this season.
Yeah, so for me, here, go play the clip. Is it
crowd that ball, let's go. Crowd that ball, y'all too far back. We too far back. Crowd the fucking ball. Here we go. It's game week. Let's go. Get on that goddamn ball. Let's go.
So what I wanted to ask you is that Coach Sapp and Lewis, they obviously play that 3 technique position. How do you think they'll improve that defensive line this season?
Well, I don't think that there's any reason to believe that they're not going to be substantially better. These guys, and it's not just because they did it, right? Because I think we can get to, they're going to be great coaches. No. Like you feel them on the field. Great coaches, you feel their presence as a position group. Mm-hmm. Okay. Weak coaches, you don't. The players have to be the ones that generate everything on the practice field. See, the practice field is supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be very difficult. The best teams are the ones that practice the hardest, the most physical, the fastest, and under the most amount of urgency and or expectation. And that expectation has got to be brought by the coaching staff, because as a coach, whatever you see on the field or whatever you see on film, you're either coaching or allowing. Okay, so I need energy from my coach. I need expectation from my coach. And I need to feel that on the field. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt.
This can't be like, let me mark this down, and then we'll see on the film how you do. Okay, let's rotate. No. I need to feel your expectation right now.
Yep. No doubt.
And that's what I start to sense, out of these guys, because they understand that element that I'm talking about. I think that they'll improve on the defensive line. I think that the evidence that we see is time and time again, the best teams in college football have defensive lines that can play, in particular in the interior. This is what made Michigan so dangerous last year and why they went undefeated. The interior of that defensive line was incredible. Nasty. Best in the country, man. They get after it. They play with leverage. They play with toughness.
That big 3 technique kid is a fucking animal.
Mason Graham is incredible. Kenneth Grant might be even better in the long run. I think that he's just an absolute star. But what I'm telling you is that has to translate. Think about what we just saw last week in Ireland. Guess what Florida State didn't have? Any toughness in the interior of their defensive line. They were just getting washed down, huge holes. Georgia Tech running backs were not getting touched or breathed on until the 2nd and 3rd level. You can't have that. Right?
I love the head coach. Run the football.
Yeah.
Yes.
Run the rock. So it's so fascinating. Everyone thinks that just because you play quarterback that, you want to see all the passing and the flash and the glamour. But I got to tell you, man, I love old school run-oriented teams. It's why I fell in love with Michigan last year, man. They could just do it. They called, 25 straight runs against Penn State on the road in a top 10 matchup. It's like, yes.
I worked with Drake Nugent. I remember talking to him about that when on draft day when we were sitting there watching and waiting for him to go to the Niners. But I was sitting there talking to him, and I'm like, so – how did that feel? And he goes, well, really, it was 27. And I was like, what do you mean it was 27? He goes, well, we kneeled twice. And I was like, oh, you're such a bastard offensive lineman. He's like, it was the coolest thing ever. The others, we were just taking their will every play. So I think that's, getting the ball thrown on you is one thing. I'm sure it's demeaning and demoralizing for the secondary. If you can't stop the run, it is the longest day of your life on defense. That's for damn sure.